Are you ready to be inspired and empowered by the stories of a truly unstoppable woman? Then get ready for an exciting new episode of Unstoppable Women. I'm your host, Noelle Peterson, the Journey Navigator. Today, I'm going to chat with another remarkable and inspiring woman. In each episode, we feature a different guest who has overcome adversity and achieved amazing things in her career and in her personal life. Through authentic conversation, you'll learn about her struggles, journeys, and breakthrough moments that have helped her become the unstoppable woman she is today. Each guest brings a unique perspective and powerful wisdom. You'll gain valuable insights into how to overcome challenges, break barriers, and thrive in your own life. You'll walk away feeling empowered, inspired, and ready to take action toward achieving your own goals. Welcome. Another wonderful Wednesday with Unstoppable Women. Today we're joined by a wonderful speaker, coach, and the CEO of the Riverstone Movement School, Lila Veronica. She helps high performers, business owners, and organizational leaders shift the physical component of their life. She integrates movement into your mental mastery journey so you can reach a greater potential faster without stressing or burning out. Lila has taught mind-body practices for over 20 years and holds a global vision to connect and uplift visionary leaders around the world. She teaches leaders embodiment practices so they can bring their visions to the world faster. Through her work, Lila has personally mentored leaders on all 7 continents. Welcome, Lila.
Thank you, Noelle. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's great to have you. So give us a little insight on how you became an unstoppable woman and the wonderful mentor you are to all of us today.
Yeah, I was really feeling into that before I came on today, and I love, this experience you're providing for women and for your audience. And I just want to say thank you, for, creating this, because I believe every woman is unstoppable. And often we have to overcome those obstacles, like your beginning of this experience said, to achieve greatness. I actually, I grew up with a single mom who was a poor, uneducated, abusive mother, and a father who I was not there. I met him once when I was 5, and he was a homeless man in New York City most of his life. And I gained a lot of value in my life and a lot of love and joy through school. My teachers, my classmates, my sports coaches, they were all the people who really gave me the encouragement and the love and the support that really fed my soul at the time. I did not like to be at home. I liked to be out and about doing things. And so I really believe, that I was born unstoppable. And no matter what happened at home, no matter who was there or was not there, I was going to find a way to thrive. And I was able to do that through my academics. I, went through a bachelor's, a master's, PhD work, all but dissertation. And I left my career. I spent about 15 years in environmental policy and environmental science, and then left my career after what my little brother says, I had an eat, pray, love moment. Where I had a spiritual awakening. I had a consciousness awakening, a mental awakening. I became really self-aware, and I chose to really step in and take care of my body in a whole new way, in a really mindful way. And I looked back over the years, through that process, and recognized all the coaches and all the mentors and all the support system that really made me who I am. And I wanted to really be able to give back to the world. I've always had a very global vision, whether it be the environmental work that I did or the coaching business that I run. I've worked with, like I said, all people on all 7 continents, even Antarctica, a woman in Antarctica. And what I know is that not everybody in their immediate family or friends has somebody that cheers them on, that supports them, that, really gives them the wisdom that they need to move forward in life. I did not. I had to find it my entire when I was young, and then through my early adult years, and still to this day. And so I really, I'm here as a guide, as a mentor, as a coach, because I know the value in my own personal experience and my clients, of course, but in my own personal experience of, if it weren't for those people outside of my immediate family, I don't know where I would be. I don't know if I'd even be alive, Noelle, honestly.
I mean, there's a lot in that, and we have a lot of people around us from all the schooling and all the friends that we make that are there. And I mean, you made a good point. We need to seek out that encouragement and that mentoring. It's not something that's necessarily going to find us. It's our responsibility to take some action and take some responsibility in making those moves so we can be a better person.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting. I look back over the years, there were moments that mentors came into my life and I could have rejected them,
Mhm.
but instead I accepted them. So sometimes we seek them out, and sometimes they divinely show up. And it's our job to receive and accept the support.
We need to be open and willing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another mentor of our Robert's and mine talks about saying yes. And it's just that openness to what's out there,
Yes. Like
right?
those arms behind you. I love that. These arms behind you, say yes, open, receive. Yeah. Say yes to more.
So tell us about your latest. I know you're promoting your 42-day challenge.
hmm Yeah. I work with high performers. I run a coaching and consulting business where I train my clients with mindfulness practices and business strategy. So I teach, you know, high ticket. I work with a lot of coaches and practitioners, and I help them with high ticket offers and sales and all that. But the integration of the body piece is huge. It's not our strategy that sells in business, it's our energy. And so I have a mindful movement school called Riverstone Movement, and I have a membership, I run retreats, I work with clients privately, but I also create these 42-day challenges. So the reason I did this is because, remember that moment when I said my little brother said I had to eat, pray, love moment? Well, that moment came after 42 days of committing to myself. I was in a very struggling place in my life, and I went to a yoga class and it felt really good. And I thought, this is the best I've felt in years. Um, I was in a place of burnout, stress, overwhelm, go, 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 do, work, work, work. And I decided that day I deserve to feel good. How many days in a row can I do this? So after 42 days of this yoga that I was doing, I completely changed my life. I left an abusive marriage, I left my career, and I moved across the country from Ohio to Colorado. And I knew nobody, I had no job, and I had no place to live. So it was the 42 days that really meant it was really special to me. And so, there's a lot of different understandings about changing habits. I just recently heard from somebody who does neuroplasticity work that it's like takes 67 days to change a habit. But what I know is that, from I'm not a biblical scholar by any means, but I know, from the Bible, there's a 40 days and 40 nights.
Yep.
There's some wisdom there. So, I thought, well, what if I could bring 42 days to my community? The two things I hear from, especially women, are I'm too busy to commit to myself, so I don't have the time, and I struggle with consistency.
Right.
So I created the feel good rebellion, because you have to be a rebel nowadays to feel good.
Right.
It's real easy to be sad, depressed, overwhelmed, and busy, but it's not that easy to be feel good state energy. So I call it the feel good rebellion, 42 days. What it is, I created a mindful movement series. It's my own modality that I've taken from different trainings, different practices, different things I've learned over the years. And I created it in 10-minute movement series. So all you do for 42 days, you show up for 10 minutes a day, you're with me, you follow the mindful movement series, and then you go off on your journey. And what's cool about it is that, yes, you do, the body parts, you feel better in your body. You get more tone arms. This is what the women tell me they love. Their arms get more tone, their waist gets more narrow, and their booty gets lifted.
The priorities.
They do love that part. And another thing, especially for maturing women, is the neck area, the throat neck area will start to lift and widen. And so those are the physical things. But the most response that I get is, I love myself more because I spent time with myself. When we spend time with ourselves, we value ourselves. When we value ourselves, we love ourselves. When we value ourselves, other people value us. So I've seen massive responses around relationships. When the women just move their bodies for 10 minutes a day, all of a sudden their relationships start to improve. They feel more comfortable in social situations, and they feel safer in the world because they're in their body more. So my intention is to bring women more into their full self. If you don't know what you're doing with your pinky toe, you're not fully present. If you don't know what you're doing with your breath, you're not fully present. You're overthinking. And overthinking is what wears women out. A lot of women, you'll meet them. How you doing? I'm so busy. I'm so busy. No. You'd wake up, you go to bed, you do some things in between. You're not busy. You're stressed. You're in your head. So I'm here to say, okay, what if you could do all those things you're doing that are keeping you busy, but actually not feel busy? Actually feel in the flow and light, and you're grounded but excited in life. That's my whole intention with the 42-day challenge. This is actually the 5th 42-day challenge I've hosted, and I have some women who have done it. This will be their 5th time. It's amazing.
I just talking about it, it makes so much sense. I mean, we spend so much time taking care of everybody else that we don't even think we have 10 minutes for ourselves. And we're fooling ourselves. If we can't take 10 minutes for us, our lives can be cut short.
It's huge. I know you understand. I work with the helpers of the world, with the bleeding hearts, I always say, the people who wake up and they're like, I just want to help people. And I get it. I spent 15 years in the environmental world. I have a business where all I do is help people. And I myself have to, practice what I preach, even because I think about other people. Women are wired for survival to be in relationship. So it's very innate for us to think about others because it's literally a foundational survival mechanism. So it takes a really conscious effort to say, I'm going to take time for myself. And I want to say that again. I'm going to take time for myself. So I have a client who is she owns a really successful nonprofit organization that helps transition yards to gardens. And she's helped create a co-op and all this amazing stuff. She's created, she's raised millions of dollars over the years, helped lots of people. And so she was really in a place of needing help herself. Her body, she was, overweight or heavier than she wanted to be, not feeling the energy she wanted to have to do everything that she wanted to do in life. So she started working with me she did the 42-day challenge, and she's lost weight. But what I love is that I told her, I said, you just need a certain amount of time each day. Like, make an appointment with yourself, set the time aside. And she's been able to get the results in her life simply from setting the time aside. She practices every day. She takes, she does the 10-minute practice, but she takes from 3 to 4 p.m. every day for herself. That is her time. And she's been a very disciplined woman. And when I say disciplined, I mean you're the disciple of yourself. And so she's been a very disciplined woman, and she's been able to get the results and feel good. And imagine, and she's still in her 30s, and so if she's already created what she's created by this point in her life, if she takes care of herself, imagine what's possible.
100%. I mean, there's so much value. We take time and we will schedule time for everybody else. But when it comes down to our health, it's, oh, yeah, I don't have time for that. Yeah. But if we take that 10 minutes you're talking about and schedule it for those of us that need to put it on the calendar and remind us that, yes, this is the 10 minutes I'm going to make this happen, we can be so much better. It helps in so many unseen ways to take care of us so that we can better take care of everybody around us.
Yes. And we all hear like your cup can spill over when you care for yourself and all that. But for women, if anybody's listening and you feel busy, I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't put your self-care in your calendar, it's not going to happen. If you consider yourself a busy woman and you don't calendar your self-nourishment, whatever that means for you, whether it be food, whether it be meditation, maybe talking to your girlfriends, talking to your friends, mindful movement with Lila, whatever it is, if you don't schedule it, the likelihood of it happening is very low. And so all of the successful people around the world that teach you how to be successful, one of the primary things is take care of yourself first. And they schedule it. They get up early in the morning, or they put it at the 3 o'clock hour, or they do their evening thing, whatever it is. And I will tell you, if I were to have embodied what I teach now, 25 years ago, I would even have created so much more in the world. I did not know about self-care. I never even thought about it until I was in my mid-30s. And I had done a lot in my life, but I had done it from a very high level of fight or flight. I was adrenaline rushed.
Right.
Go, do, work. I mean, I did a lot, trust me, and I'm proud of what I've accomplished, but it wasn't healthy.
I mean, there's so much there. You're talking about the healthy. There's stories after stories of people that end up in the hospital or end up in a major issue because they don't take care of themselves. And our bodies, universe, however you want to word it, will stop you if you can't stop yourself. And then it's too late. Then it's so late, it's hard to get back.
It's so true. And so, sometimes it does take a wake-up call, which I've had before, to really choose to take care of myself. Like even when I told you I had the Eat, Pray, Love moment, the only reason I had that really started on this journey was because I grew up in an abusive home. I ended up in an abusive marriage, and I had to deal with my problems because they were physically manifesting. And there's a lot of, cascade of, I was basically using work and socializing and taking care of other people to mask the pain that I was feeling, to avoid my own problems of what I had to deal with. I remember being younger and joking and saying, one day I'm going to have to deal with these mommy issues. I would just joke about it. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, I like to say, I did not hit rock bottom, but rock bottom definitely came up and smacked me in the face. I was in a place of adrenals shot. I was about 35 pounds heavier. And I was drinking, a lot of wine, kind of the typical wine in the evening kind of, experience. And just constantly on the go. And my body was telling me, Lila, you need to slow down. You need to check in and see what's going on and get yourself. And so I spent the first 2 years of my journey, my self-awareness, my spiritual awakening, whatever you want to call it, journey, pretty light on the doing. I did a lot of self-care. And then I started, helping more people and building my business. I have a very successful coaching business that I run. And I actually, even in my movement school, Riverstone Movement School, has a teacher training certification program. So I train teachers to teach what I've created. Like I said, I've worked with people in 4 different countries this year so far. So I have a big capacity, and at the same time, I've had to be able to balance it. And I just want to point out this one thing, like, unstoppable women are unstoppable because they attract what they want, not because they do more. You actually, if you're an unstoppable woman, like truly in your, you need the masculine energy and the feminine energy. I'm all about the integration and having both.
Yeah.
But when you're an unstoppable woman, it's that you have the energy of magnetic attraction, and that comes from the body.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's not, I wanted to be smart. When I was younger, I always wanted to be more intelligent, lots of information. And I still want to be smart, to be truthful. I love knowing stuff. I love taking in information. I'm reading this like deep book about the levels of consciousness right now. And, I'm really into learning. But the truth is, none of it really matters if I don't feel good. When I feel good, when I have really bright energy, it's like the river of abundance flows to me. People just want to give me stuff. People want to work with me. People want to be with me. And that's what I want for all women, is to know that you don't have to be the doer of and like taking care of everybody all the
Right.
time. Actually, much more difficult for some to be the receiver. But that, my friend, is when you become truly unstoppable.
I had a thought and it just left. But there's so much, Lila. You are so wise, and it's so grateful that you're sharing it with us today. And there's so much value in the energy that comes from being mindful. So trying to wrap up all that you've been talking about, being mindful and being aware of where you're at, what you're doing. It just changes the energy you bring to the situation. I'll give a quick example because for me, energy was something I was kind of staying away from. Like, that seemed a little woo woo for me. I didn't get it. But after I quit my job last year, and people would see me after the fact, and they're like, "Oh, you look so happy. You look so much better." And I physically wanted to go to my pictures and put a picture from post leaving the job and when I worked at the state, and put these two pictures side by side and say, "Okay, here, see what happens." But in the 2D world, there was no difference. I realized it was the energy that I was bringing to the world that changed.
Wow. That is amazing.
And
That's amazing, Noelle.
so just that concept of energy is real. And maybe we have to feel it for ourselves and see it actually in action. But when you are taking care of yourself and you're mindful of what's going on, you can see that river flowing of the abundance that comes through you, the downloads, the ideas, and the opportunities that just flow and bring you into a new state.
Yeah, it's totally true. So I'll give everybody a little tip that just came forward, if that'd be okay.
Yeah.
So if you're not sure how to be mindful, or if you want to become more mindful and you want this energy expansion and brightness that we're talking about, I'll give you, there's 2 things. Number 1, be with your breath as much as you can. You'll notice, especially women, breathe very shallow. There is a subconscious belief that we shouldn't take up space, and so we breathe shallow. So I don't say deeper breathing. I say breathe wide. Breathe into your rib cage like fish gills. So breathe wide. The more you're with your breath, the more present you are, and the more you're with divine energy as well. Every wisdom tradition will first, be like, breathe, close your eyes, take a deep breath. So it's your breath is it's the first thing you do when you get here, is the last thing you do when you leave and on earth. And so be with your breath to be more present. It's a sacred essence of who you are. And the second thing, breathe wide, rib cage, like fish gills with the breath. The second thing is relax your belly button away from your spine. So a lot of us have been told, like, suck it in, 6-pack abs, or we'll hold tight, trying to look skinny or something. But the truth is, when you hold your belly button in, you're more likely to trigger fight or flight, adrenaline, and then the latter, cortisol and glucocorticoids. So relaxing your belly button away from your spine lets your low belly, from your belly button down to your pubic bone, relax as well. That is our womb space. That is where our creativity comes from. So it might feel weird at first, like you're sticking out your belly, but you think about an animal who's relaxed, their belly's relaxed. They're not sucking it in. And so the breathing wide and the belly button soft away from the spine will completely change your life. If you're out at a networking event or a conference, or you're on a podcast, and you get a little bit nervous, or you're kind of like, in your head a little bit, or there's a lot going on, see if you can just relax that belly button a little bit. And if your mind is in your belly and you're having a conversation with somebody, they're going to lean in. If your mind is only in your head and you're thinking, they're going to lean away. So test it out, play with it, see what happens when you breathe wide and have a belly soft when you're in conversation. And I guarantee you that you'll have some different kind of results.
Just testing that now in a situation, calm, and here it's sitting in my house, that you can feel the difference that would bring. That's awesome. Thank you so much. How can ladies find you?
So I have, if you want to download a free one of these 10-minute trainings, it's one of my most popular trainings. You can go to Body with Lila, Lila, bodywithlila.com. And if you want to join the Feel Good Rebellion, you can go, that's the 42-day challenge. You can go to feelgoodrebellion.com.
Up here real quick.
Yeah, and I'm always open to, I'm on social media, Facebook in particular, quite a bit. So I'm always open to new social media friends. Lila Veronica, Lila, Veronica is my handle.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Lila. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us today, and a huge thank you to our guest for sharing her wisdom, experience, and insight. It's been an absolute pleasure and honor to have her on the show. The incredible stories and achievements of the women we feature on this podcast are not just inspiring, they're a call to action. They remind us that we are capable of achieving anything we set our minds to. I encourage you to take that first step toward. Thank you so much for joining us today, and a huge thank you to our guest for sharing her wisdom, experience, and insight. It's been an absolute pleasure and honor to have her on the show. The incredible stories and achievements of the women we feature on this podcast are not just inspiring, they're a call to action. They remind us that we are capable of achieving anything we set our minds to. I encourage you to take that first step toward realizing your dreams and living your best life. Don't wait for permission. Believe in yourself. And if you're looking for support and guidance on your journey, I invite you to join me. Text WOMEN to 55444 to learn more about how I, your journey navigator, can help you unlock your full potential. Remember, you are unstoppable. Let's make big things happen together.